Hello everybody, and welcome to video number 2. Thank you so much for coming back and checking this out. Today I'm going to be talking about the ever-burning question, what is my interest rate? It is probably the number one question that I get asked during the mortgage process and as long as I've been a loan officer. So today I am going to try to help you answer that question. Figuring out what your interest rate is, whether you're looking to buy a new home or refinance your existing home, plays a huge part in determining what that looks like. If you're buying a new house, it's going to help you determine your buying power, how much of a house that you can look for. If you're refinancing your home, depending on what you're refinancing it for, it may determine whether or not it's worth it for you to be able to do that. So while it's an amazing question to ask, I have a little bit of a secret for you. Come here. Come closer. I can't tell you yet. Now, the reason that I can't give you your interest rate yet, or that I can't tell you right when you call, is because there is so much context and so many things to consider when finding out what your interest rate is going to be. Are you buying or refinancing your home? Which program are you going to go with moving forward in the transaction? What do your credit scores look like? All of those things play a huge part in determining what your interest rate is going to be. So I wanted to start by going over the two primary functions of mortgage lending, buying or refinancing. So let's start with purchase. If you're purchasing a home, what kind of program are you interested in looking at? Are you going to go conventional, FHA, USDA, or VA? As well as the plethora of others that we have to offer, have differing factors to determine what your interest rate is going to be. So another really important conversation to have when deciding all of this are what are your long-term versus short-term plans for owning this home? Maybe this is just your first home and in a couple of years you're going to want to upgrade. Maybe because of the job that you have, you may be moving in a couple of years. On the flip side of that, maybe this is your forever home and you are going to be living in this house for the next 20 or 30 years and this is your long-term solution. Based on what your personal life looks like and what your personal answers to those questions look like, will determine what the best interest rate may be for those circumstances. We are programmed as a society to think lowest is best. The lowest interest rate is the best interest rate, but that is not always the case. So let me give you a good example. In the long-term solution, let's say this is your forever home. You're going to be there for the long haul. Oftentimes in those scenarios, the lowest interest rate possible is the best interest rate. We can look at what's called doing a rate buy down. And a rate buy down is essentially when you pay more in closing costs to get a lower interest rate. Now, when you do that, that means there's more out-of-pocket up front, but you have a lower monthly payment because of the lower interest rate. With that being the case, over a 10 or 15 year period of time, the lower interest rate ends up saving you more money than the initial upfront cost. On the flip side of that, if this is a short-term solution for you, we can do the opposite of a rate buy down, meaning giving you a little bit higher interest rate, but saving you money on the upfront cost for closing and for prepaid items. Now, why is that beneficial? Let's say that we get you a higher interest rate, 0.5% higher, and it costs you $50 more per month. But in closing costs, we saved you $4,000. So in 2 years, at $50 more per month, you may be spending an extra $1,200 on your monthly mortgage payment, but you saved $4,000 up front. Financially speaking, the lowest interest rate in that scenario was not the best interest rate for you. So the other piece to talk about is refinancing a home. When you refinance your house, are you doing a rate and term refinance, which means you are just refinancing the remaining balance of your loan, or are you doing a cash out refinance? Both of those options offer different interest rates. And let's say in the example of you wanting to do a cash out refinance that you're looking to take money out on your home in order to make improvements so you can sell it. In that case, doing a refinance may not even be your best bet at all. It may be looking into different options. The reason that I'm bringing this up and the reason that I'm talking about all this is something that you want to be weary of is what I call quoting without context. If you call someone up on the phone and say, what are the rates today? And they just fire a number back at you, they are doing you a huge disservice. You are probably dealing with a salesperson who doesn't care about you, your circumstances, your plans, your investments, your opportunities. All they really care about is about quoting you that lowest rate possible so that they can get your business, so that they can make a quick buck and move on. Sometimes the conversation leads to, this isn't going to be the best solution for you, and that's okay. The reason that I'm bringing all this up is because when I get that question of what is your interest rate, and I don't give it right away, oftentimes there's a little bit of pushback. There's a little bit of, well, I called this person and they said this is what their rates are today. Well, as you can see, because of the complexity of that question, I need to know a little bit more about you and your circumstances and your own personal journey so that I can give you truly the best answer possible to that question. That's why I will always come back with, well, let's have a conversation so we can find that out for you. So whether you're looking to buy, whether you're looking to refinance to take some cash out or lower the interest rate or get rid of mortgage insurance or whatever your circumstances are, I would love to help you. I'd love to talk to you about what your plans are, what your motivations are, what your short-term versus long-term plans are, and really put together the best interest rate possible for you. So hopefully today I didn't swerve you too much. I know I didn't quote any exact rates today, but that's because based on the programs, based on your scenario, based on your credit scores, that answer has so many variables that it's going to take a conversation with me to find that out for you. So give me a call, shoot me an email, let's have a conversation. I'd love to figure out that answer for you to that ever elusive question, what is my interest rate? Feel free to check out the video that I posted last week. I went over some of the initial programs that we offer. I will be covering more content about that in the future. So if you have any questions, make sure and leave them in the comments below. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will have another video up next week. Have an amazing week, and we'll see you next time.